So you thought you had a bad week, huh? That's funny. Barcelona had an even worse week. And it all started last Monday when Ousmane Dembele goes back to training. It appeared that finally Ousmane Dembele was going to have a chance to break out, to avoid all these injuries, and he gets injured again. You can't you can't make this stuff up. It's not funny that he gets injured. It's just funny that it keeps happening. Like, why, dude? Why? There's clearly something going on, and you can't even blame the training staff at Barcelona because it's him. It's him that doesn't put in the work. It's terrible. So now he's likely out for the remainder of the season, and there goes another attacking player for Barcelona. You can add Luis Suarez to that injury list. And then Eric Abidal, the sporting director of FC Barcelona, comes out and he blames the players for the sacking of Ernesto Valverde. He blames everyone, all the players. And Messi's like, oh, okay, all right. First of all, start specifying. We don't want to be generalized. Give us names. We want to know exactly who it is you are talking about. And Messi was mad because he even went on Instagram. He posted it on his story. He started it by saying, like, I don't like doing this, whatever. But he showed his discomfort. He didn't like the way that situation was handled. He just didn't like the way that he was put into this group that drove Ernesto Valverde out of Barcelona when clearly Lionel Messi was one of the guys that was defending Ernesto Valverde and wanted him to continue at Barcelona. So Messi was mad. Messi was pissed. He was heated. And automatically, you already know the drill. You know exactly how this goes. You know that as soon as Messi says something like, Barcelona is getting a little bit old. Barcelona isn't as fun as it used to be. Automatically, he's going to Manchester City. He's going to Chelsea. He's going to this. He's going to that. And these rumors started. And it just became, it had that snowball effect, you know? And Lionel Messi, all of a sudden, he's linked with Manchester City. He's linked with all these teams. And Barcelona's like, what? What do we do? We lost Ousmane Dembele for the rest of the season. Our sporting director's blaming all the players. And now our best player in our history is probably leaving. That's just up until Wednesday. And then Thursday happens. We have that Copa del Rey game between Athletic Club Bilbao and Barcelona. And Barcelona, I watched the game and I actually didn't think that Barcelona played all that bad. They played pretty good, actually. They just didn't finish, which has been the issue with Barcelona throughout this entire season. They can't seem to finish any of these opportunities. And they lost last minute. They literally lost to a 90th minute header by Iñaki Williams. It probably looked like an own goal. Not probably. It did look like an own goal, but either way, the ball went in. Barcelona knocked out from the Copa del Rey. It actually didn't look as bad because Real Madrid was knocked out as well. But still, you really don't want to be eliminated from the Copa del Rey in such an early stage. Of course, considering that Barcelona had won like 4 consecutive Copa del Rey titles and then they went to the final last year, even though they lost, but they were still there. And now, Messi, unhappy. Barcelona, eliminated. Your sporting director is talking smack. And you're in second place in La Liga. That is just atrocious. That's terrible. What is going on at Barcelona? What is happening with this team, this juggernaut that was Barcelona not too long ago? And this really all circles back to the poor transfers that Barcelona has had. They've been absolutely terrible. Again, you look at a guy like Ousmane Dembele, who's probably played like a handful of games in how many years? Like 2. He's been at Barcelona for like 2 years or something like that. Coutinho, who doesn't even play for Bayern Munich, let alone for Barcelona. I mean, this poor guy, this poor individual, he's just been, from bad to worse. And he's going to go back to Barcelona at the end of the season because Bayern doesn't want him. So what's Barcelona going to do now? They're going to likely sell him for way less than what they bought him for. Yerry Mina, no longer plays for Barcelona. He was a flop, even though he was a really good defender. I don't know why he didn't play. Whatever. Malcolm, we know how that went. Alex Vidal, Todibo. All of these guys have not panned out. And it's for whatever reason Barcelona has not been able to sign players. Their signings haven't been panning out after Neymar left. So it's just Barcelona with terrible, absolutely terrible transfers, terrible signings. They don't pan out, and then it's literally just Messi and Messi, Ter Stegen, and 9 other guys. That's really what Barcelona is right now. It's kind of sad seeing how bad Barcelona has looked. And you kind of look at these signings and you're like, wow, most of these signings are not signings that they needed. It was just a big name was available. They asked them like, oh, would you like to play for Barcelona? And they're like, yeah, of course. And Barcelona was like, all right, let's go sign him. That's not how it should be. You should address your needs. And Barcelona has some needs. They have a lot of needs. Of course, they got rid of Ernesto Valverde. Looking at it now, of course, without him in the picture anymore, it's like, maybe he wasn't the problem, but it is what it is. You have another manager now, so you can't really do anything about it. Barcelona has a deficiency at center back and at striker. And now, sure, it kind of sounds a little outdated now that, of course, we watched Barcelona beat Betis in the weekend. They beat them 3-2, and their center back scored a goal. But still, it's just they need a replacement for Gerard Piqué. They need a replacement for Luis Suarez, and you need to find, quote unquote, somewhat of a replacement for Lionel Messi. And those are the necessities. Those are the needs that Barcelona has right now. And it's pretty evident. It shows every time that they play all these deficiencies that they have and that they haven't addressed. It's pretty obvious. It's very, very obvious that Barcelona needs these players. They need a little bit more depth in this squad. And they don't have it, and it shows as the season goes on. The more games you play, the more intense these games are. It's showing. Your players are not putting forth their best foot. They are tired. They're exhausted. They've been playing all season. They've been playing at a high level because they've been down in a lot of these games and they had to make comebacks. So it's just showing. It's showing that the squad isn't deep enough and that maybe the stamina isn't there. The conditioning is not there for these players. Barcelona, I hate to break it to you all Barca fans, but it looks like Barcelona's probably not going to win any titles this season. It's looking very, very evident that this team is not going to win any titles. Not a single title this season. Copa del Rey, which was probably the easiest title for them, it's not there anymore. They're eliminated. They can't win. In La Liga, second place. To a Real Madrid that's been playing very well. Or that has been getting results. Maybe not playing very well, but has been getting results. And in the Champions League, if you have to face a team like Liverpool that is very good physically, we're probably going to see something similar to what we saw last year. This Barcelona squad isn't built to win titles. This Barcelona squad is just built to win some games and maybe get lucky. That's really what they have just with Lionel Messi. He's the best player in the world, but he can't do everything. It's just one guy. But here's the thing. Not all is lost with Barcelona. Not everything is lost. Because I do see a scenario where Barcelona can get lucky and win a title somehow, some way. This scenario consists of 3 points. The first one, Luis Suarez has to come back very, very much earlier than what we expected. He has to come back in like March or like very early April. If they're still in the Champions League, that's a plus. If they're just battling for La Liga, then, you can kind of take it a little easier. But if they're still fighting in the Champions League, it'll be a massive addition for Luis Suarez to come back from his injury. It's not likely, but if he comes back earlier than expected, Barcelona has a boost all of a sudden. The second point in this scenario, the starters and the frequent subs have to stay healthy. If they don't stay healthy, which has been part of the issue with Barcelona this season, then I really don't see this team contending for absolutely anything. But if they can stay healthy and they can stay at a level in which they produce some good games, then Barcelona has a chance. They have a fighter's chance. And the third thing, Messi has to play at a ridiculous level. Think about the best period that Messi has had in his career. He has to do that times 10. Because this team is just, this squad is not enough. It is not enough. So it's kind of crazy that Barcelona depends on, at least for me, they depend on these three things to win a title. Just one. That's it. And of course, if they get to win the Champions League, you can just scrap absolutely everything that I said, and we'll talk about this season being a success for Barcelona. But let's be realistic. Let's be real. Let's look at ourselves in the mirror and say, does Barcelona really have it in them as of right now? No, they don't. They don't have the depth. They don't have the conditioning. They don't have the players. They don't have the style, really, if they even have one. Man, it is incredible for me to say this, but Barcelona is very likely, very, very likely, I'd bet my money on this, that Barcelona is going to have a trophyless season.